Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at Jen's Arty Inclinations, a place to create, share, and play. Hello, everyone. Sorry it's been such a long time since my last video. Family life, it's just been hectic lately. Anyway, I've still been creating, so I have a few double page spreads that I'll show you today, and I've just bundled them all together. I'll try and still keep it nice and short so that you can see what I did with them. So here I'm just stamping off the top as a little bit of a border, and this is in our Filling a Junk Journal series. So this is the same little book that I was working on a couple of months ago. What is it? Over a month ago since I think I've seen you all. So thank you to everyone who's been going through the back catalogue and commenting and so forth. I've really appreciated, your comments and your support. So anyway, these are just little pieces, and here I have some little strips that I've stapled a butterfly on the top, and I'm going to use that as a little bit of a page trim. So just gluing it down. I love to put book pages into my junk journals when I'm using different papers, and I'm often stuck when I get to them what to do with them. So this one, I just thought I'd make it into a little note page. And there we are, the little bit of page trim on the edge. So just gluing down the back of it. I was tossing up while I was doing it, should I have it as a little tuck? But I thought, no, I'll just glue the whole piece down because we've got our lovely giant hidden paperclip on the left there, and that's enough going on with this little page here. Okay, and so now it's just using that other little piece of paper that I have the light stamping around it as a border and popping it underneath on the other side. So now you've got somewhere that you can jot down notes, and you've got the lovely book page peeking out around it with that lovely colour as well. Yeah, just a little bit of fun. And as you can see, these little scraps I just inked around the edges as well. So that is that little section all fixed up. So I thought, all right, well, that was so quick and easy. Let's keep going. And I think this bit might even be a little bit easier. I simply used my dauber in my ink pad and a scrap piece of paper, and I'm just doing an inked edge. And then I do a little bit of stamping over that. I love doing my borders like this. It just adds a little touch. So there we are, just inking. That's just a text stamp that I'm inking over it. And then I grabbed another one of my little clusters. I decided that one because it had a little extra teeny notepad. So then you've got the big page to make your notes, and then you've got this little teeny one to make notes, which also happens to be a cluster. So I thought that was, a little bit cute. And I'm simply inking the back of it just to help it blend a little bit more. And then I thought, oh, look, let's just rinse and repeat. So I did another inked border, did some more text stamping over the top, and grabbed another little cluster to put on the bottom corner because I wanted to make sure that there were some clean pages as we went through. It just helps the eye rest a little bit as you're going through the journal. So some pages will be nice and busy, and then you have a nice little rest page as well. And a little finishing touch, just a little dragonfly. And, oh, that's right, it was actually just a little piece of a torn page, not a cluster on that one. Okay, so here I did a rough measurement, holding it up against the book, and I'm just cutting out a nice little piece of tracing paper because I love these original ledger pages in this particular book. So I sort of played about with it this time. I did a little thumb hole so that you could see a thumb hole, and then I also, you saw me earlier, just tearing off another little piece of scrap paper, rounding the corners of the tracing paper as well, and then I'm using this as a little note page over the top. So because it's tracing paper, glue, like you'll see the glue, it doesn't work as neatly in the finish. So I decided that I would use double-sided sticky tape for both of these. So that way I get a nice, beautiful straight edge on my tracing paper. and you won't see the show through with the actual double-sided tape either. So there we are, popping that in over the top of my ledger page, and that is another page basically done. So you can see how quickly I just tore through these. Sometimes when life's busy, it just makes you get stuff on the page. It makes you sort of, work things out quicker. Okay, so I thought, look, haven't had a little bit of a flip out for a while, so let's play about with that. Simply folded a book page in half, used some coffee dyed paper to paste into it as little note pages. So there we are. A little bit on the top as well as a little cover, which was just a little bit of scrap paper offcut and a little sentiment on it, and then that just sticks down. So now you've got a flip out on one page, and then you've got that. And Kitty Cat had to come along and say hello. So I had to give her a cuddle before we moved on. That's one of the two. They both look almost identical. So then I have this lovely piece that I'm just reinforcing the, the fold line on the actual ledger page. That's to make sure that it was starting to break away because it's so brittle. So, yeah, just putting that in to reinforce. Hello, Kitty Cat. She just did not want... We've been so busy, she's feeling very neglected. So there she is again. That one's Fluffy and the other one's Buster. All right, back to work. So now you saw me sort of roughly measuring this on the page. It's just another flip out, another piece that I had that seemed to be exactly the right height for the book. So I thought, oh, well, got to make that into a flip, haven't I? Inking around the edges. And then I am playing about a little bit with the inside using some coffee-dyed paper, and voila, that's another little flip. And just putting a cluster on that side there, and then it's simply a matter of pasting it into the book. So I'm using it over the edge of the ledger paper, and then it all flips out all the way. I just thought that would be a little bit of fun. Here we are, little scrap of book page, just to add a nice little edge on the inside there, and then it all feels like it works in together better. So there we are, all folds out all the way. You see that lovely original ledger paper. You've got more places to journal on, lots of fun. That's sort of the way I like it. So here I am tearing down another piece of paper. This is another book page. And what I wanted to do is just layer it up as a little bit of a border for a journaling spot opposite that big flip out. So rounding the corners of all of them, and then inking all the edges and doing a bit of stamping just so that little note page has a little bit on it. So you can see the inked edge on that, and then the little note page that goes in on the top. And voila, we've got more journaling space. So that was so quick that I thought, well, I've got a bit more time. Let's do some other quick things. So lovely bit of pianola paper on this particular one, and I thought that'd be great for journaling on. And I decided that I'd do the old-fashioned tearing a book page and putting the corners on the opposing sides. Did a little border on the other side, inking around the edges of my little torn pieces. And then voila, another super speedy double page spread. So I don't even know how many pages we did in the end with all of these, but we'll go through. So there's the one that we just did with the opposing torn corners and the little bit of a border. That's the border with the little book page. The next one we did, another little border on the left-hand side with a little cluster, and that's the hidden paper clip that we did earlier in another video. There we are with the first one we did, the book page with the notes on either side. And again, that's another piece that we did right back at the beginning there. And moving over to the final one, a little flip out, the tracing paper, which is a little journaling spot, this wonderful big flip out that comes all the way out, and then flips out again with the bordered journaling spot opposite. So, really flew through all of those. Fire any questions that you have in the comments. And yeah, I've already got some stuff planned for next month. So, I'll see you again really soon. Take care. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.